You good, Joe? Go for it. You're good.
Alright, thumbs up.
No.
Hey guys!
Hello.
My name is Danny. This is my good friend
I'm Dozy.
Dozy, and we're part of the 3D Leadership Podcast. Woo! I'm super excited to be back.
I'm excited. Okay.
Especially since last month we had such an exciting guest and exciting stories. And not only that, but we brought you some more. So we're excited.
That's what we do with this podcast. We bring stories.
Right. So how are you doing, Dozy?
I'm doing good. It's been interesting. I've grown a lot in the last couple of months.
Okay.
Last time. Yeah, a lot of just spiritual growth, a lot of just marriage growth, I would say. Got a mentor that's pouring into me, and me and my wife started getting closer after she finished her exam. So yeah, just a lot of like life changes that I'm learning. So
Wow, man.
So yeah, pretty good so far.
Hey, even with that, man, can we bring your wife in?
Yeah, absolutely. This is my beautiful wife.
Let's go.
My beautiful wife. You want to tell everyone your name? Hello. Her name is Bailey. Tell me about yourself.
I'm Bailey. I'm married to Dozy. So happy to be here and excited for what God has.
Awesome.
Anything new going on in life, Bailey?
I think you talked a bit. Yeah.
I love this. I love when they come in because they're such a power couple. It's definitely something to look forward to. So thank you for being that example. So it's something that I'm really thankful about. Now that Thanksgiving just passed for sure, and one and only, I want to thank Monica. She's not here for Mom Christian Gifts. That she's able to make all this happen. Sure, she has the speakers, all the microphones. This is all hers. Definitely sponsored by it. And then not only Dennis, I want to give thanks to Dennis.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you,
Dennis Herring, he's one of my good friends that became really close. But he made all this happen, all the background, everything. Isaac, that he's not here right now, but he's definitely making everything happen in the background.
Absolutely.
Sure. Thank you, Isaac. If you're out there, if you're watching live, we don't take it lightly for sure. So with that being said, let's get you in. Let's get everything started for sure.
Wait. You haven't said anything about yourself.
About myself?
Any updates?
Any updates? Honestly, the biggest update that I've had this last couple of months is my brother finally got saved. So that's been super exciting. It's been 3 years in the making, right? In the grid, but I'm super excited for him and his family, my nephew. I know major changes are gonna happen, and already has. God is moving in the right timing. So that's a huge update for
That's
me.
a big update.
Right.
That's a praise. We just end the show there.
Not only that, he's my older brother, so if you're a younger sibling, it's kind of, super exciting to see that the leadership stepping up in people's households. So,
Absolutely.
and with that being said, let's bring up Dennis. I want to bring up Dennis. So, let's go. And then I want to bring Dennis up because he's going to share a little bit of what's going to happen today. So definitely get your pen and papers ready. It's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. A lot of nuggets is what I like to call. Not just nuggets, golden nuggets. All right, golden nuggets. So Dennis,
We're talking
describe.
platinum. You're not gold. So what's up, guys? So I appreciate all the kind words. Today is a special day for us because not only do we have a new partner in the house. Kaylee, if you want to come up here and join me. We got a new partner in the house today, which I'm super excited about. Come grab the mic here. I'll grab this one.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
Nice, okay.
But it's special today because I got connected with this guy beyond randomly like 2 years ago, and it was through actually their neighbor because my speaking career was just beginning, and they said, you know what, I need you to connect with this guy. I was like, okay, how do I get in touch with him? Just call him. What do you just call him? He doesn't know who I am. I took the chance, called him. He had the awareness that my name was Dennis. That's the only context he was given of me. And we talked on the phone for a little while, got to his backstory on how he started his speaking career, just how things began. And over the course of time, we ran into each other in a couple of different events. And I wanted to make sure that before the year was over that we somehow found a way onto his calendar. And so I'm super, super excited to have Mr. Larry Long Jr. with us today. If you want to come up here and join us, Larry.
Larry Long Jr.
He is a...
Oh.
I
I thought you said golden nuggets, so you gotta have the golden mic for golden nuggets.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I won't
yeah.
drop the mic unless you want me to. So grateful to be here. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on? What's going on? I would love to understand because
That is, I've never seen this in person. I know this person. I've
Don't
never
drop
seen
it.
this in person. This is so cool.
Okay, I got 2 questions now. First of all, where did you get that? That's different. That's real different. Does it work?
Oh, sure it works.
Yeah.
What is that later?
We'll test it out
I
later.
wanted to know. So you said that the only thing you knew about him was that his name was Dennis. So what does the conversation happen like when you pick up the phone? It's like, what does he say? Like, hi, this is Dennis.
Well, my neighbor, Robin Rampani, had given me a heads up. And guilt by association, good guilt. That she's good peeps, he's gotta be good peeps. So yeah, that's a no-brainer.
So it wasn't just 7 o'clock in the morning, or 7 o'clock at night. You're like, huh, who's this? My name's Dennis.
I may have sounded a bit more random than it was,
Got
but
it.
I guess that's how awkward it felt for me.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
I mean, with the past schedule this guy has, I didn't exactly know if I was even worth being on the radar because I had just finished up my first youth conference, just finished up doing my first talk with University of Southern California. And I was like, well, I've got 2 accolades to talk on right now compared to this guy's 2,000. I don't know how much I can compare here, but we're gonna give it a shot. But before we get started, I did want to give Kaylee a chance to kind of share a little bit about herself, what made her want to join. Oh yeah, sure, feel free. And just share what made you want to really become a co-host with us here. Last time we were on here, we had you as a guest, and immediately afterwards we connected and said, we got to do this thing together. We've got to. So like, walk through kind of how we got to there, and then we can get the show on the road with Mr. Larry over here.
Yeah, seeing the podcast, it was so inspiring for me, just what you guys are doing and having different leaders come on the show. So it was such an honor to get the privilege of joining as a co-host. So I'm really excited to start this journey with y'all.
It sounds so special. No worries. So,
special.
so Larry, let's kick this off here, right? So, you do sales training. You've been Salesforce coach of I think the year or trainer of the year for I don't even know how many years. I only can count that high.
Don't do that.
You've considered a professional. Like you get brought in to host events. How in the flip did you even get to that point? Like walk us through a SparkNotes version of the journey to where you got now.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to summarize. So I've been speaking my entire life. And I know y'all won't believe this, but I used to get sent to detention for talking, and now, by God's grace, I get paid to speak. I pinch myself every day. It's like, wow, you're gonna pay me to serve, to speak, to inspire, to motivate and transform. So it really started. I played baseball at University of Maryland, go Terps. I know I'm in enemy territory, but it's all good. But I used to speak to little leaders, and I would just talk to them about the importance of taking care of business in the classroom, at home when your parents tell you what to do, or else you're not going to be able to take care of business on the ball field. So I used to speak to little leaguers, and then I started a sales career making 150 ice cold calls every day to accounting firms, and other organizations would say, hey, can you come in and speak to our reps? How do you keep a positive attitude when you're getting hung up on and you're I'll never forget, I had one call to a gentleman in New Jersey. He said, Larry, I got something for you. I thought I was gonna ring the bell. I thought I was gonna get a sign up. I'm going to Sizzler. Well, he said, I want you to put on a pair of concrete shoes and jump off a bridge. I said, uh-oh, Houston, we have a problem. I went through the manual. I said, how do I overcome that objection? And really, I just improvised and said the first thing that came to mind. I said, God bless you too. And then I hung up on him. I said, oh my goodness, savage. He must have had a bad day. But essentially, back to the story, how did I get to speaking? I met a gentleman named Dr. Kevin Schneider, and he said, Larry, respectfully, are you stupid or are you dumb? I said, hold up, you don't know me like that.
When someone says respectfully, it never comes with
I'm not sure that doesn't soften the blow.
He said, you're speaking for free. He said, when I speak corporate, they write me a check, and there's a few zeros at the end of that first number. I said, well, do you, boo-boo? I'm not trying to I have a full-time job. I'm not trying to get paid to speak. I love serving, I love helping people. But he said, hey, when you want to turn your little hobby into a business, give me a call. So 2019, you'll get a kick out of this. My wife said, hey baby, I love you. And whenever she says that, I know something's
about to go down.
My life is a big sitcom. So she said, I love you, baby, but you tell everyone else to pursue their dream, follow their passion, look in the mirror. I said, uh-oh, Houston, we really have a problem. She said, you're faking the funk. You're not happy in your job. You're not happy in your career. You need to go ahead and take your own advice. She said, what's up with that? I said, hey, I'm scared. There's this thing called FUD, not Elmer Fudd, but fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And I don't know about y'all, but it can paralyze you to be stuck. And essentially, my wife encouraged me. She said, hey, baby, I got you, boo-boo. Let's go to work. Call Dr. Snyder and let's see if we can get those zeros after that first number. And that was all she wrote. I had my first paid speaking engagement March 17th of 2020. Rewind back. I don't know if y'all remember. Friday the 13th was when the pandemic started. Yeah, so it was just, that was really the start of me getting paid to speak. And it's flourished ever since then.
Wow. That is.
Wow,
I'm
Larry.
too blessed to be stressed. Crazy.
Well, tell me this. When did you know you had the gift of speaking? When did that start?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it a gift. I mean, I've always had the gift of gab, but normally it got me in trouble. I came out of the womb talking, goo goo gaga, and I haven't stopped. I mean, once you give me the mic, it's something you can have the pride to take away from me. Nah, but in sales, one thing that I learned is that we've been blessed with 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You gotta listen.
That sounds too familiar.
Yeah, because if you listen, you'll learn. And when you learn, you earn. And when you earn, you have impact over people. So, I mean, I've always been blessed with the ability to tell stories and the ability to speak. I mean, I'm never at a loss. Very rarely am I at a loss for words. But the big thing is, for me, having an impact on someone in the positive with words. Words are powerful.
Yes.
And one of my mentors, he shared this with us back in June. He said, sometimes you have to lean on someone else's belief and faith in you until yours kicks in. And Dr. Willie Jolly, he didn't know it at the time, but I needed to hear that message then and there, because as a solopreneur, I mean, I've got 3 employees, and you're looking at all 3 of them, me, myself, and I. It can get tough, it can get lonely as you go through the ups and downs, the highs, the lows, the twists, the turns. I mean, it can be tough, the adventures, and for me, the misadventures, but I pinch myself every day. I pinch myself every day. I mean, it's crazy to think that I speak and I serve for a living. Come on now.
Nah, you can't.
What you talking about, Willie?
Hey, listen. I feel you, man. That's purpose there. But that's purpose when you find fun in the purpose. I see that. I was So how has this new transition been like on the family? Well, first of all, can you tell me more about your marriage and how that's been impacting your career so far?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you've heard, but my wife, without her support, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I did hear that. So it seems like she's a very big key part of this.
I've been blessed beyond belief. My wife Maria, she's from Argentina.
Oh, okay.
Que pasa loca. But yeah, without my wife's support, it would have been impossible. And I say nothing's impossible. It would be impossible for me to do what I'm doing without her support. I've got a 14-year-old son, my little man, Trey. I can't call him little man because he's taller than me now. At 14, I've got a 10-year-old daughter, little Lucia. And I count my blessings each and every day. I know that you mentioned Thanksgiving. Yeah, we celebrated Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving is every day. And it's a choice. I mean, we all have a choice on how do we want to explore each and every day. There's this way of woe is me, oh goodness, everything is terrible. I choose to say that life is a blessing. Every day that I'm here on this earth, it's a blessing. And I know you didn't ask this specifically, but I lost my father it'll be 8 years ago on December 11th. And my father grew up in Baltimore City. If you ever saw the show The Wire, surrounded by crime, violence, just not in a good environment, but he had choices. And he had choices for mentors, and he had choices to run track. That was to get out of the hood. And he shared with me that, hey, little Larry, I'm Larry Long Jr., little Larry, life is a blessing. It really is. We choose whether we want to look at that glass as half empty or half full. He looked at it as 100% full. He's like, you can't tell me nothing. That's 100% full. And it was really that optimism, that perspective that I guess it really just rubbed off on me for me to have that outlook. And people are like, wow, you're weird. And I'm like, I am. And that's okay. It's all good by me. I'm enjoying myself each and every step of the way.
I think I have a two-part question for you, actually. So my first part is, you said you got started in 2020. So what would you tell someone, first of all, and you said the three letters,
Fear,
FUD,
uncertainty, and doubt.
So if somebody were feeling that, but also on a logistical standpoint, how did you get started, especially with it being 2020, to overcoming those two obstacles?
Yes, I'll answer both of your questions. Question number 2, I'll answer with 2 words. Zoom, zoom. Zoom became my best friend.
What?
And I was really fortunate that Zoom technology existed because it doesn't
Yes.
matter where in the world. Now you didn't ask about the story of this mic, but it really was accidental. So when the pandemic hit, there was a group of folks who had been impacted. They had been laid off. And the gentleman, Sam Schooley, I'll never forget Sam, he said, hey Larry, will you share a word of encouragement with this group of folks that have been laid off? I'm like, of course, anything I can do to help. I spoke to them, hopefully inspired, hopefully motivated, most importantly, hopefully transformed their perspective into, hey, when one door closes, this is a window of opportunity that's opening up for you. Are you ready to open up that window of opportunity? So I rocked the mic. I mean, I must say, myself, I rocked it. He mailed me a gold, this is just off of Amazon, it's a karaoke kids mic. He mailed it to my office in Durham. I get a call from Amazon saying, Mr. Long, your package is here. I'm like, you don't want to leave it there. It's not going to last very long if you leave it there. Just throw it in the bushes. So they threw it in the bushes. I had to bribe my daughter at the time. This is 2020. She was 7 years old. I said, little Lucia, you want to go get some ice cream? She was like, sure, Daddy. So I went down there. The box was there. I opened it up, and it's a gold mic with a little note. He had typed in the note in Amazon that said, hey, Larry, you rocked the mic. You dropped the mic. I thought that you would enjoy this microphone. Yeah, so I do this midweek, midday motivational minute every Wednesday at 12 noon. I gave Sam a shout out with the gold mic. People loved it. They were like, that's hilarious. And you know me, if someone finds it hilarious, I'm gonna double down. So I got the gold mic, I got the platinum mic. I call it the platinum mic. My wife said, baby, you're colorblind. That thing is pink. I said, we'll call it rose gold. Close enough. But yeah, that's where the microphones came. I don't know if that answers both of your questions. I'm the king of going on tangents. Who's on first?
So you use Zoom mostly, and then it started to get out there to do more in person after 2020.
Well, in person is picked up, but I've got a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old at home. So I'm very intentional in terms of, a lot of times someone just mentioned to me, Larry, you're always on the road. Well, if you look at my LinkedIn, you might assume that I'm always traveling. In reality, I'm not. I work with a coach, and I'm very intentional that I don't want to be on the road for this year more than 12 times. I was just in Minneapolis. That was number 9. I'm heading to New York in 2 weeks. That'll be number 10. But I'm not going to be gone more than 12 times. Now, next year, I'm going to bump that up, but I believe that without intentionality, we kind of just falter. We're kind of just all over the place. I try my best to be very intentional with everything in my life. Faith, family, friends, fun, fitness, finances, philanthropy, which I know doesn't start with an F, but close enough. I think they say I spell phonetically and frenetically, as well as career, but those are our priorities. Yeah, I think that was a sign right there that I heard. Yeah, wrap it up, Larry. God is sending signs. Hush.
Okay, has anyone ever read the book Atomic Habits?
Yes.
Okay.
James Clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how it says, like, if you get 1% better every single day, where you're gonna be in a year, you're gonna be like so much higher. But if you just stay the same, you're gonna be like, what would you say to the people that want to get 1% better every day? So
Yeah.
what is like a good tip for someone like wanting to step out there, they're scared to, like what would you say to them?
First, I would say, don't be scared. Don't be scared. and then, I'm not sponsored by Nike yet. But you know how Nike says, just do it. What's holding you back? I should be a lawyer because I already know the answer. What's holding you back? It's that person in the mirror. It's the person in the mirror. Chapter 1 of my book is, what story are you telling yourself and believe it? So if you think about it, when you wake up, we all have the choice to get better. I would be negligent if I came here and I talked about it, but I didn't give you an example. Here goes an example that you can do right now. It's called the hashtag 3-minute challenge. Because most people say, hey, I don't have enough time, Larry. I do some coaching. They're like, I don't have enough time. I'm back-to-back meetings. Well, if you don't have 3 minutes, then we've got bigger problems to solve. Every day, go into your Rolodex. I know some of y'all are too young to know what a Rolodex is. Essentially, it's the contacts in your phone. And just find one person that you haven't been in contact with 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, could be 3 decades. And all I want you to do is take 3 minutes to surprise and delight them. Surprise and delight. If you were my surprise and delight, Daniel, I'm gonna go to my best friend Google, and I'm gonna find a funny GIF or funny meme with someone making 60 calls a day. Their hair going everywhere. I'm gonna send it to you and I'm gonna say, hey, Super Saturday, I was thinking about you, DA. I was thinking about you. By me making that little gesture, just to let Daniel know that I'm thinking about you, the little things are really the big things. So that's how you get 1% better, by investing in someone else. Because whether you know it or not, it's not about us. It's not about us. Martin Luther King Jr. has a quote that I think about every morning and every evening. That quote says, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing to help someone else out? So a lot of times we think about how we want to serve people. We think about, we might even journal, we might write it down, but the key word there is, what are you doing? The 3-minute challenge actually puts you into action to do something, to invest in someone else, to let them know, hey, I know life be lifing, I'm thinking about you. It makes a world of difference.
Wow, that is huge. And you kind of touched on leaning on somebody else's belief. You know, I guess that's from the other side of somebody, I guess, not having that belief. Like, what does that look like, to lean on somebody's belief?
Well, I can tell you to have Dr. Willie Jolly, who's a 30-plus year Hall of Fame speaker, to have him share that word. And this was to a group, but he was saying it to me. I felt it right here in my heart, because this 4-letter word we call life, it can be tough. And there's a lot of folks out there struggling. And in June, I was going through a rough stretch where I needed to hear that message. There was no mystery why I was in that room and he was in that room at the same time, because that was a message that I needed to hear. I know you talked about atomic habits. There's a book that I recommend. It's called 3 Feet from Gold. It's written by the same folks, the Napoleon Hill Foundation. And my coach blessed me with this book. And I've gone back to it over and over, because there's been plenty of times where I wanted to give up. And so often people give up when you're 3 feet from gold. You're this close, but you don't know it. And you just feel like giving up. And the message of the book is, have faith, have belief. And sometimes you got to surround yourself. I'm happy to be here in y'all's midst, because I can feel the energy. And I'm an expert in energy. I'm the CEO, not your traditional CEO. I'm the chief energy officer, so I can feel energy when I'm around it. But the company that you keep is so powerful. And for y'all to be so uplifting of each other, for y'all to share smiles with each other, I'm just happy to be in this place, in this space with y'all. I mean it.
I don't even know how to respond to that. That's a lot of love right there. I appreciate that. No, it's crazy you saying that, because that was something that we were talking about this morning. I've had a lot of fear recently in what the next thing that God has for me. And I've been trying to figure out what that is. We were talking about missions and talking about what that looks like, how Jesus is going to go in our lives, like what He wants us to do. And I've got a lot of fear with what that is called to.
And I'll just say that makes you human.
Yeah, I think I was not feeling okay to have that. Yeah. Because in my mind, it was like I was fighting the mindset of like, I'm not supposed to be afraid of any of this. but my heart was like, but I am scared, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll say yes and, because someone told me you can't have fear and faith at the same time. Think about that.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's a natural emotion to have fear. I fear every day. I've got this voice. I call it Cletus. My coach told me to name it. I don't know if there's any movie buffs, but come on, Cletus. You're going to walk over, but you're going to look back. I got to knock Cletus off my shoulder and have that voice that God has a plan for me. Have that voice of encouragement from my father. Come on, little Larry, let's go. You got this. Versus that voice that's like, you can't do it. Who do you think you are? You can't do anything great.
Yeah, and I think that's, and you know, what you said is so true too, because talking to my wife about it too, it's like such a fly of the devil, because it's like, I put such the onus on myself. And then something is like, you're not the most important thing right now, you know what I'm saying? It's very important, because like you said, like your quote about Martin Luther King Jr., it's about others. It's about other people. It's about loving others. Why am I so self-focused all the time? You know, it's something that I feel like is really good to talk about and to try to get out of a lot of times, which is why I think prayer is always good.
I mean, I think the thing that Larry's touching on, and that you're touching on, is it goes back to Exodus 3, right? When God was calling Moses to lead the Israelites out of captivity, what was the thing that Moses kept fussing about? He said, like, who am I supposed to tell him to send me? Like, I'm not taking anybody with me. Like, who am I telling them? And he says, I am sent you. It's not just the play of names of God as I am, but it's that reminder that no matter what season of life you're in, he fulfills that need. When you were going into that stage from having a full-time job to speaking, I don't know all the details behind what all had to go well or where God came through for you, but I'm pretty confident that when you needed the I am, he was there, because all you had to say, all God had to do was say, I am blank. Whatever you need, I am. I needed some funds, I am. I needed some strength, I am.
And I hate to break it to you, that's right now. It doesn't.
Yeah, even now.
It's not like this happened and it was a one-time thing.
Yeah.
For me, it's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
If it were just on me, I wouldn't be here. But I realize that it's not just me. And it's having that trust, that faith, that belief, which can be challenging. I'm going to keep it real. It can be challenging. God, why me? There's a reason.
So on that note, let me ask you this. Plenty of people who call themselves Christians some of them aren't really sure where they stand. Some people aren't sure what to pursue. They want to pursue that new business idea. They want to pursue that new coffee shop. They want to start this new brand. They want to pursue music. But like you said, there's that doubt each day of, is this really going to work out? So when you're in the season of, is this really for me? But you still do take the step, you're different than those who don't. What is it about your faith or about that decision that helps you not just think I have to take a step, but moves your leg to take the step? So what is it about, what's the separator for you that takes you from not just saying I should do this to I am doing this?
Dozy, right? You said it. You said it 3 minutes ago. I was going through a crossroads of corporate America, where my wife called me out that I wasn't happy. And there goes that sign again. Yes, it's that sign. I was trying to figure out, what is that next step? I knew what I should be doing, but I was scared. And I called my mom, and she said, I've got the answer. You got to pray harder. Pray harder. God will reveal the answer to you, and Mother knows best. March 26th of 2021, we all know the gentleman, Corey Richardson, who's a great friend of mine. He called me to let me know that my position was eliminated. I was fired. Thank you. I asked for a sign, and
you got one,
Larry. If you can't take this sign as what you need to be doing for that next chapter, I can't help you. I give up. But essentially, I asked for a sign, and the sign was delivered. And my wife and I went outside. We did a little prayer. We did a happy dance, and it was revealed that this was what I was supposed to be doing. Now, does that mean it's been all sunshine and unicorns and rainbows? Heck to the no, not even close. But this journey, this adventure, this misadventure, I wouldn't trade it, I wouldn't change it for the world, because I'm learning so much. You talked about what you're learning along your spiritual journey, what you're learning in your marital journey. If we're not living and learning each and every day, I don't want to shame anyone, but shame on us. We have an opportunity to learn each and every day about ourselves, about others, opportunity to sow into others. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing. But to get back to your question, there's a lot of folks out there that are noodling that new restaurant, that mission trip, that new job, that new career. My encouragement, stop noodling, like Nike said, just do it, which is a lot easier said than done, but document a plan. What's your game plan? Document where you want to get to, and what does it take right now? What's that step one look like? After you take step one, that's tough. How do you take step two? How do you take step three? When you get knocked off your block, how do you get back at it and say, you know what? You tried, but I'm back at it again. How do you keep that perseverance? How do you keep going? I know we're talking about the 3Ds, the three-dimensional up in here, but we're going to talk about the Ps, that perseverance, that persistence, that the purpose. Why? What's your why? It's powerful out there. Sorry for another PS, 4Ds. Close enough.
Come on, Larry. That's really good. I mean, at the end of the day, like, so something I wanted to make sure we touched on today is this idea of better late than never. Because I know a lot of times, depending where you are in life, depending how old you are, you may feel like you lost your chance. The year may have passed. Oh, that was the year for me to do this. I guess the chance is gone. Last year I was meant to do this, or I meant to go on this trip, didn't fundraise for it. So from building your own calendar perspective, right? How do you take, whether it's every month, whether it's once a quarter, how do you take time at the end of the year to reflect on the year, to then make sure the next one is progressive? Because we know that many people, they're moving through the 2020s, doesn't mean they're actually changing the 2020s. They're just reliving the same year 40 years. And they say it's a new year, but nothing about your life has changed. Nothing's different. You're still the same, hanging out with the same crew, going to the same bars, doing the same job. Everything stays the same, but you're saying you're moving forward when all that's moving forward is time. So how do you, as a speaker and as someone who really, very much like me, is passionate about really progressing forward, how do you reflect on yourself to prepare for a new year?
So, great question. I love it. I don't wait until the end of the year. I do checkpoints throughout the year. And for me, I've invested in coaching. I've made a sizable monetary and time investment in myself. I mean, I believe that's where the greatest ROI comes, when you invest in yourself versus investing in that Starbucks. I don't drink coffee, I might explode, but essentially it comes. Yeah.
Larry, listen, you don't need the coffee.
I think it comes down to that intentionality. It's that deliberate, and I think some people say you gotta slow down to speed up. When was the last time you thought through your goals, your vision, where you're going and why you're going there, and who is around you to help support you there? Now there's a methodology called SMART goals. Have y'all heard of SMART goals? Yeah. I'm gonna give y'all a hot take. SMART goals, I believe, are dumb. And I know most people are like, what you talking about, Willis?
Can you elaborate on those real quick?
I like specific, that's the S. I like measurable, and I like time bound. When I look at the A and the R, attainable and realistic, and my Steve Harvey Family Feud voice survey says, nah, I don't like attainable and realistic, because who sets attainable and realistic? If I had set attainable and realistic goals, I wouldn't be an author. Because you can ask any of my English teachers, elementary, middle, high school, college, and you tell them Larry Long Jr. is an author, they're going to say, where's Ashton Kutcher? Am I getting punked? There's no way that punk wrote a book. It's impossible. You look at the word impossible, and you break it down, I am possible. I am possible. Thank you, I appreciate it. There's nothing that's impossible. So I'm a big believer of slowing down. I take notes here, I take notes written, really intentionally thinking about where am I going and why? Why am I going in that direction? Who do I need to surround myself? who do I need to be if I really want to get there? And I'm gonna just say what's on my heart. So many times people's vision and goals aren't high enough.
Yeah, too short.
They're right here.
The more baseline.
Yeah, I've been there before. When I first started working with my coach, we set up goals, and she said, "Larry, you can do these without me. Do those goals thrill you?" I'm like, "No, but I know I can get them." She said, "Survey says, you need to have bigger goals." She said, "It's amazing what the human spirit, your heart, your mind, those around you, when you put it out there." I'll give you just a quick example. I love to play golf. And I don't know if Robin told you, Tiger Woods is my cousin, long lost cousin. They call me Larry Hit It in the Woods. But I'm But I set a goal to play golf in 10 different states. This was in June of 2021. My coach said, 10 states? No, that's not thrilling enough. Come back with a bigger goal. I said, 20? She was like, "Yeah, that sounds good." I didn't know how I was gonna play golf in 20 states. But when I put it out there, now that was my vision. That was the peak of what I was shooting for. I had a speaking engagement in San Francisco. Played golf in San Fran at Presidio on Friday. Flew to Las Vegas. Played Valley High on Saturday. Flew to Phoenix on Sunday. Played
Yours makes me jealous now, huh?
and then played in Austin on Monday. 4 states, 4 days. Knocked it out. That got me to 17. I don't know if y'all remember the tornadoes that happened in Tennessee and Kentucky. I flew into Tennessee that morning, right after the storms, drove up to Kentucky, played there, played in Tennessee, got to 19. I said, I didn't come this far just to come this far. New Year's Day, Jacksonville, Florida. My son and I, New Year's Eve, December 31st, my son and I, Jacksonville, Florida. My wife and my daughter, they were at the beach. I hit state number 20. They said it couldn't be done. Wow. Anything is possible. Any basketball fans out there that watch Kevin Garnett saying anything is possible?
You know, not to kind of go on the basketball game. It's crazy. I remember there was a basketball player.
Yeah. And he talked about how
Guys would come up to him, right, like high schoolers, and they'd go up to him and ask him, like, "All right, so how many shots? How many shots do I need?" And he's like, "Don't ask me that question."
he's like, why? And it was funny because he was saying, why are you limiting your shots of how many? Like I hope he already told you what to do. It's like, why? Like, you should just go to the gym and just shoot. And how long you shoot? Until you stop. Just keep going. There should be no limits to what you can be able to achieve because you don't know. And you place limits on yourself when you could, I don't want to shoot 100 shots a day. You could have did 1,000. I don't want to do 1,000. You could have did 2,000. If you just relaxed and not thought about it. And just attain yourself to the same goal of just getting better each day.
It's crazy. So I do some coaching, and a lot of times there's a philosophy. I call it the microwave society. Think about it. We like to go boop, 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 boop. It's done in 15 seconds and we're good. Anything that tastes good. And I just got done with Thanksgiving. Yeah, you talked about you gained a lot. I gained a lot of LBs. But essentially, if you want good food, you gotta let it marinate. You gotta let that thing simmer a little bit. It ain't gonna be microwave. You're not gonna get the same quality. It's the same thing in life. If you're serious about something and really serious, you're gonna invest the time, the energy, the resources. You're gonna let that thing simmer. You're gonna let it cook. You're gonna make sure that everything, every step of the way is right on and buenissimo. But when you try to cut corners, there's no mystery in life. Success leaves clues. You can look through history at success stories and see that it takes hard work. The harder you work, the luckier you seem to get. I mean, it's kind of magical. It's like, wow. When I put up those shots and I practice, in the words of Allen Iverson, we're talking about practice, it's amazing how things just seem to magically work out.
I have a question for you along those lines. I'm so curious. So for you in your life, 'cause I know you do a lot. I saw you do like NFT sales, a lot of different things, body coaching. So along with what you were saying and what Caleb was saying, how do you pick your yeses and your nos on a daily basis? Like, is there thought process? Because you don't want to say yes to everything, you don't want to say no, but you want to have like those attainable, or like I guess unattainable goals. So how do you figure out how to balance it?
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my weak spot because I say yes to almost everything. And I realized that if I want to get to my vision, and I was just at a conference, a speakers convention, leadership convention in Minnesota, and one of the young ladies, we were talking about, what do we speak about? She said, I speak with people on how to pick their nose. And everyone said, pick their nose? What are you talking about? She said, no, pick your nose. In life, you got to say no to some things. If you say yes to everything, good. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough. So I'm a work in progress. I'm trying to figure out how best to say no to those things that don't align with my vision without feeling guilty. Because I want to help everyone. I want to support everyone, everybody, every organization. But in order for me to get to my vision, I can't. And my coach shared this perspective, because I used to give away a lot of my services. She said, Larry, you're not a nonprofit. You're not a charity. If you keep operating as such, you're going to be out of business. You're going to go extinct. And I said, uh-oh, I don't want to go extinct. I want to make sure that I can impact even more. Therefore, I have to say no to some of those opportunities that aren't financially aligned with my vision, which is tough because there was a time, and I still fight it, where it's kind of like what Dr. Kevin Schneider said, are you stupid or are you dumb? You're giving it away. I want to help everybody, but I realize I can't.
What was most important? Thank you for sharing.
Okay, I'm dying to know about your book. That's all I'm thinking about. I want to know what your book title is. I want to know where I can buy your book. What's your book about?
Oh, wow. It's electric. Got me doing an electric slide under there. So my book is called Jolt.
Oh, okay.
Jolt, close enough. Get zapped into intentionality, rediscover, and believe in your inner greatness. Essentially, what I found is sometimes as people go through life, they lose that inner greatness. We've all got greatness inside of us. We've all been blessed with skills and abilities, and we need to step into that. We need to acknowledge that we've been blessed, and we need to step into that and not lower ourselves. So I had a bunch of different names that we were brainstorming with, Unstuck, and but we came up with Jolt. I've been told that my energy is electric, so it's got the electric jolt on it, the electric bolt, and we try to get some people zapped and unstuck so they can be on their path to greatness. It's on Amazon. You're making me blush because I never thought that I'd be an author. Who would have thunk it? Have you ever been an author that used the word funk? That's not even a word, but we're having some fun.
Oh, I love that. So this is a little bit lighthearted. So you said you played baseball for Maryland, correct? Yes, sir. And I don't know, what was that experience like? For all 4 years?
Ooh, 4-year starter.
Okay, first of all, what position?
Left out. Coach, can I get in? Nah, you're left out, dog. Go to the end of the bench. It's funny, I'm a Terps legacy. So my father ran track for the Terps.
Okay.
My sister she's 10 years younger, she ran track for the Terps. I'm the black sheep of the family, literally and figuratively, playing baseball. They're like, baseball? I'm like, yeah, you run after you hit the ball. They said, we'll let it slide, little Larry, we'll let it slide. But I had an absolute amazing time, and I had such a good time, I wrote a chapter in my book. Strikeouts, they're a part of life. I'm not an expert at anything in life except for striking out. On the baseball field, in life, in business, in relationships, I've struck out miserably, and that's how I've learned. You think about it, as you go through your journey line, some of the best learnings, at least for me, were those strikeouts. It was those attempts that I didn't have success that I was able to learn. So playing baseball, it was a lifelong dream, and I actually went to minor league spring training with the Dodgers and the Red Sox, which was awesome. Oh, wow, I was right, until they said, thank you for coming out, God bless you, and good night. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord splits you. I was drying my tears all the way back to work, but it was fun while it lasted.
No, I hear you. That's, that is, I got so many questions. I don't know what to say.
No, it's
Good though, but I think what you said is very wise though.
because yes, you did strike out, but going to the plate is the important part because of what you've learned. You wouldn't know or learn so much about what it meant to strike out or what it meant if you never got to actually go to the plate. And I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's my encouragement for those folks that are new. Step up to the plate. Step up to the plate. strikeout. It's not a failure. Failure isn't fine. It's a learning lesson. I'm going to either win or I'm going to learn. And ideally, I'm going to win and learn, but even if I don't win, I'm going to learn. And the big thing that I would encourage folks is as you go through and you learn through life, make sure you share it with other people. They say sharing is caring. So often we learn the lesson and we keep it to ourselves. Don't hoard those lessons. Pass that along because it's unbelievable. As I share my story, how many people that I didn't even realize, they're like, wow, that really resonates with me. Wow, I appreciate you being open with not just the good things that are happening, but also the challenges, the bad things that have happened to you, because we all go through them, and when you know others are going through it, it provides them that comfort that, you know what, it's okay for me to step up to the plate. It's okay for me to stop noodling and step up as a beauty queen, to go out there and share my talent out there. Tap dance, yeah, I don't know what that was, but I'm putting myself out
That was like a
there.
salsa, if you ask me.
Make this go viral. Just crop the clip of you dancing, and it's gonna be
gonna
like,
make us get canceled.
bye.
Like, what is this guy doing? Did I leave you speechless? I had that effect on people.
For the first time, I have no clue where to go with this conversation.
Larry,
So why do you think that a lot of people stay stuck? Why is that a thing? You know?
That's a great question right there. That's $1 million question. I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that it's habit. As we go through life and as we get older, we kind of get shy. I see it with my 10-year-old daughter. She gets a little bit shy on being wrong, and it's like, Lulu, it's okay. You think about it, when you're a youngster and you're learning how to walk, pull yourself up, you fall down. You don't just sit there, you try it again. Pull yourself up, you fall down. When you're riding a bike, I've yet to meet anyone who's ridden a bike the first time. You're gonna skin your knees, you're gonna wobble, shake it, you're gonna crash, but you get back up again. At some point in life, we lose that factor, we let fear hold us back from even trying. It's like, you know what? I'm not even gonna give it a try. If I don't know that I'm gonna have 100% success, I'm just not gonna do it. But my encouragement, and this is encouragement to myself, when I was writing my book, chapter 1 really hit me hard. I had to ask myself, Larry, what story are you telling yourself and believing? Unfortunately, I was telling myself a bunch of fake news, all the things that I can't do, instead of stepping in and being the conqueror that I am with a can-do attitude. So, I mean, it's a battle that I fight. It's a battle that I know other people fight. I have conversations all the time. I talk to my neighbors. I love to ask them, are you happy with your job? The answer is almost always no. I'm like, well, why are you doing it? You know you have a choice. You know that you're free to do something else. And the excuses that I hear, oh, I got to take care of my family. Oh, it's just habit. I've been there for so long. Survey says, that's a whack story that we tell ourselves.
Wow. And I hear it a lot. That a lot of people are like, but it's too risky. Like I hear it so much. And I was like, but isn't it risky to also stay there? Right? And I feel like even with my journey, that's one of the things that they told me. It was like this, both sides are hard. So why stay with the average one when you can be, great? You can go for greatness. Why not? Right?
I love it. You're talking about language right there.
But I think the thing that happens is that,
Because when you talk about being great, it requires uncomfortable. Like I said, people naturally like to go to what's comfortable, what they've done to some degree. And it's hard to reach out and to be uncomfortable around circumstances. Yeah, exactly. Like to achieve anything, you're gonna have to, one, be disciplined, change certain things, aspects of life, change people you're around. Really dedicate yourself to what you're trying to accomplish and what your purpose is at that moment. That's hard sometimes. Sometimes it requires a lot of things. And then, in the midst of that, God comes in and is like, hey, I need to do something even bigger than what you even thought about. I mean, like you brought up Moses, right? Like it was dandy for him to understand, like, okay, I gotta leave everything I know. Do all the things, I gotta go to the wilderness and live there. Okay, cool. I live there, I got a wife and do that. I had to learn some things with life. All right, God's like, all right, And you thought it was gonna be like,
Oh no, I got a plan.
plan for you. And that is a plan for everybody in that way.
I mean, I feel like it's the thing that we miss on those situations is that no matter whether you're a cold caller, no matter whether you're marketing, whatever you're doing that you initially were pursuing, you still sucked. I think I don't know how to put that in a more loving way. Like, you have onboarding in a company for a reason, because you suck. You need at least
2 weeks to even figure out how to talk on the phone to a stranger.
I mean, the ramp up period for new sales reps sometimes is a month to 2 or 3 months, because literally you're learning about a new platform, a new industry. But here's the thing that gets me: we don't realize that you're gonna have to try something new, whether it's your own business or someone else's. So if you already have to learn a brand new process for a job that you're making somebody else money for their next Ferrari, why don't you do it for your own bank account? That's the thing that gets me every time. We already put so much time and effort into a next pay bump or into the next salary. If it's an industry transition, you know, it's gonna take time to get better at it. The only mental comfort is that there's a paycheck coming as long as you're good at it. But guess what? If you do your own thing in your own business and you're good at it, there's a paycheck coming there too.
You make a great point, and I will also share entrepreneurship isn't for everyone.
Yes.
So for those that are out there noodling, wondering, do I have it in you? I believe you do. But if you don't have it inside of you, that belief, it's probably best for you not to jump out. Because you can't be a half step. You got to be all in. Because it's going to be tough. For anyone it's going to be tough whether you work for someone or work for yourself, but working for yourself, it's going to be tough. You're going to hit those crossroads where you're 3 feet from goal and you're like, I'm ready to give up. I can't do it. I can't take another step, Larry. I've been through it all. But if you're ready for it, go for it. Make sure you surround yourself with people that are encouraging you. I mean, my wife, she's my biggest cheerleader. Hercules, Hercules! She's cheering me on every step of the way because it's tough. And without that, it would be practically impossible.
With that being said, I have another question for you. So how would you, because you talked about your wife, a ton of mentors, how do you first develop those, or did they come to you? Did you go to them? And then what would you say are some characteristics on that journey of people you said I cannot have in my close circle? You would want to have, you know?
So it comes down to relationships. And I've been really fortunate with mentors, my father when he was living, my mom, my sister even being 10 years younger, my teachers. But a lot of the mentors I sought out. Mark Winchester, he was my boss, but when he was no longer my boss, I still called on him for guidance. There was a time, and I still struggle with it, where I didn't want to ask for help. It's Superman syndrome. Oh, I got this. I don't want to put Daniel out. He's too busy. Oh, I don't want to call Larry. He's too busy. My coach shared with me, Coach Kristen, give me props. Healthy people ask for exactly what they want. Think about that. That's a good point. And I had to ask myself, Larry, are you a healthy person? I wasn't acting like it. I was afraid to ask for help. I was afraid to ask people, yeah. But now, and I'm still a work in progress, but I realize that if I don't ask, I will not receive. Yeah. So I better go ahead and drop the ego and ask. And these are powerful. These are powerful words right here. Will you help me? Think about it. When someone asks you, will you help me? What feeling do you get from me when someone asks, will you help me? I get the warm fuzzies. I feel good. I'm like, oh, shucks. Let me get to work. I want to help them along their journey. Well, my coach said, Larry, why would you prevent someone else from having that same feeling? Why would you just try to do it all on your own, be a me monster, and not give them the opportunity to support you along the path? And I got to thinking, and I said, I pity the fool. I don't know why I wouldn't do it, other than just being scared and other than telling the story of, they're too busy to help me. They don't want to help me out. People want to help. Now, you talked about the people surrounding you. I had this conversation with a good buddy of mine, Greg Penix. Sometimes it's family members. Sometimes it's blood, which is tough. But sometimes you got to cut it. Once again, if they're not aligned with your vision, you're still my fan. Nothing but love. But you just can't roll with me. I can't let you into my inner circle because we're about to go get this thing. And it's big. And either you're on board or you're not.
Overboard.
It doesn't mean exactly. I like that overboard. But it comes with that intentionality, that deliberate, that thoughtfulness of who's along the journey with me, who's riding with me and why. And some people it's just for a season. Some people it's just for a reason. It's not forever. It's like, hey, nothing but love, but for this next step, what got me here won't get me there.
That's good, thank you. Because I think that can make or break your journey. I mean, you have to have your goals, but people around you make it.
Jim Rohn says you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about it. If you're around negative Nancy's, negative Nellies, negative Neds, chances are you're going to be negative. If you're around some people that are positive, they're doing great things, they've got great aspirations, they're taking action, that's inspiration right there. And I got to share with you, your questions are next level. It's amazing. There's a quote by Tony Robbins where he says, the most successful people ask the toughest questions, therefore they get the best answers. I can tell that you're successful and you're destined to even greater success because of those amazing questions, the thought process, and putting that together. Keep up the great work. Congratulations.
I was going to say,
I went to school for counseling for 4 years, so basically I paid for that.
I love it. I love it.
So I know we're coming up on time to an extent, so, and I also want to honor your time. So
To help kind of close the conversation out before we close out the entire podcast, you mentioned a few times those who are noodling, those who are trying to figure out what to do next. There's a couple of different things you brought up earlier when it comes to
the vision, asking yourself why, etc.
you obviously have had success in the
Corporate sector and now as a speaker. So
we also know life expectancy for people nowadays getting into the 80s, right? So from the perspective of someone who has lived life, has experienced a whole lot, and still, without a question, has several decades still to come, what would you be saying to those who are starting out, but also those who are in your shoes, where it's like,
haven't I lived too much life though to go back and try again? Is it not too late yet?
It's never too late. And once again, I mean, I've got original thought, but my mentor, Willie Jolly, he shares it best. He tells a story of him starting off as a professional speaker, him getting a paycheck, happy, but then that money was already spent. He was on a plane, an older gentleman in his 80s, was looking at him and was asking, like, why are you down in the dumps? And Willie shared the story, and he said, young man, I'm 86. And I realized that even at this age, my best is yet to come. At 86. So Willie said if he had that perspective and that mindset and that attitude at 86, what's my excuse? What's in your wallet? So I just encourage people to know that your best is yet to come. Now what you gonna do about it? If you don't do anything, then yeah, I can guarantee you're not gonna make progress, and you're probably gonna be like that dog that's chasing his tail. You're moving, but you're not making any forward progress. If you step into what does that best look like? What does the best LLJR look like? And then you take steps towards it, getting better each and every day. When you look back, in the words of the great philosopher, J.J. Walker, it's going to be dynamite!
I love these black show references, man. This is funny to me. I was like, wait, J.J. Walker? How old are you?
Oh man, you can't see the gray. I'm 45. I've been blessed with 45 years on this earth, and I truly believe that my best is yet to come. Watch out now.
Let's go.
I love that. So before we have Dozy, Danny, and the rest of the crew take us home here, I wanted to make sure that a new tradition that we began as part of the podcast is I know we're being hosted in a Christian store and with different accessories, etc. We want to open up the floor. I shouldn't open up the floor. Actually, we want to make sure that the floor in the store,
as well as online, knows that we're entering the holiday season. plenty of thankfulness, plenty of gratitude. It's always something you always stand for. And so we want to make sure people know that none of this stuff even exists without the faith that we have in who God is to us. And whether you are somebody who is a firm believer, whether you're spiritually curious, you're just trying to figure out who or what or this thing that's out there, you're at least looking at a crew right here who can identify knowing they've met the one who, like, they haven't had an encounter with the one that said, let there be light, and light showed up. Like if Monica were to flicker the lights on, same thing, same concept. But we've also had an encounter where we know that without him, where we are today is not where we are supposed to be. So we want to encourage all of you guys watching that in this season of life, in this season of the holidays, whether you've walked away a while from the concept of church, whether you've walked away from the concept of who God is, and you're entering into the holiday season, we want to just simply encourage and challenge you to revisit that from a different perspective. Don't blame who the word claims God to be based on your experience with somebody else who may have been a bad reflection of that, right? Because we all meet different people in life. Some people claim to be believers, they may not have been the best example. Someone like having road rage in traffic, ergo me, may not always be the best in the moment example, right? But that doesn't mean that I don't want to be, it just means you saw me at a poor moment, but don't judge my moment for his eternity. So we want to make sure you know, during this holiday season, there is a God who loves you. There is a God who sent his own son to die for you for the sins that we as humans have committed to God. But he also loves you, and he wants a relationship with you. It's not one where you're required to do X, Y, and Z for him to love you. It's one where he already did the work for you. It's just showing gratitude and understanding. There's no earning his love. It's already been earned. It's just a matter of you living out of that thankfulness for the love he's already got for you. So if you're in that season, I just want to encourage you to be a bit more curious. Everything that we've talked about today has come from the Word in some way. Whether there's a scripture or a story like the story of Moses, where these principles are laid out in the Word. So if you're more curious about what we talked about, where we got to these conclusions, just open the same book that we do and find out. And I promise you that you'll be revealed what you need to learn to understand better who God is versus that one person who saw 1% of their life and based another character off of their 1%. Just want to encourage you to be curious and continue seeking him, because there's a character out there that you're meant to meet. You can only meet the future you when you've met the one who designed you. So with that said, Danny, Dozy, Bailey, Kaylee, close us out with Larry here,
Yeah,
and
okay.
we'll be good to go.
Well, I would like to say last thing, is there anything right now that is on your mind that we can pray to, like any good things coming up, or
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, anything like in the near future that we want us to pray to?
The biggest focus area for me is keeping my main thing, my main thing. That's my faith, number one. My family, number two, and my friends, number three. Because it's very easy to get misprioritized as you go through life. You let life, and I'm guilty as charged, I've let life take control over me versus me taking control and having that intentionality. So my biggest prayer ask is that I can stay grounded and stay focused on my top priorities. Thank you.
Wow, so yeah, if you're live and watching, definitely, if something about today's topic just touched your heart, please don't be afraid to leave a comment. Anything, I know Dennis has options on this channel to be able to reach out to us. And honestly, guys, there's more.
You're meant for greatness. You're definitely meant for greatness. And no matter what age,
What industry you're in, it's not too late. It's never too late. So I leave y'all with that, and super excited to have Larry. Come on. Look out for his book. It's on Amazon.
Thank you so much. You want to pray?
All right, Jesus, we thank you for today. We thank you for who you are, God, that you decided to come down and be with us, to be man, and to live the life we could never live, to die the death we could not die, so that we can have an intimate relationship with you, and that we can one day be with you in heaven. We thank you, God, today for Larry, for his wisdom, the work you've done. It's just his energy, his charisma, the work you've done in his life, and the way that he just wants to serve and love others, God, through you. We just praise you for that. We pray, God, that the wisdom that he has shared today with us would just help thousands and millions of people, God, because it's so valuable. It's so valuable in every aspect of life. And so I just pray for him. I pray for his number one, to be his number one, and that you would just guide him in that you would guide him in his business, you would guide him in his faith, you would guide him in his family, you would guide him with his friendship, with the different relationships in his life. Lord God, and that you would, any way that the enemy wants to create destruction and create negativity, that you would destroy that in the name of Jesus. I pray today that we would all go from this place, and we thank you for Mon and her family in this store, God. And we thank you for the provision to have this podcast. And we pray it would just be so many. We ask all this in your name, your loving name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Till next month.
Till next month.